Mr. Naruhodo, I managed to find out what happened. It was an advanced form of a smoke grenade, a type of exploding device. The trial will start again before long. But who would have done something like that? The police managed to catch someone who was trying to flee the courtroom, apparently. It's a young girl of around 15, I hear. Was it the other passenger that Mr. McGilded was just talking about? My thoughts exactly. Where's Mr. McGilded? I think he was summoned to the prosecutor's antechamber, along with the young girl. Who is she, I wonder? What was she even doing here at the trial? There's another matter that's troubling me. What's that? The 20 pence. Oh, according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 4 passengers that night at a fare of 5 pence each. That comes to a total of 20 pence exactly. But now it seems that there are in fact 5 passengers. Which means the figures don't seem to add up again.
Bailiff for the defense, kindly proceed into the courtroom. The trial will recommence in 5 minutes.
Oh, thank you, officer. We'll go in straight away. Well, whoever she is, I imagine this young girl will be asked to take the stand and testify now. I really can't imagine what she's going to say. We'll know soon enough, Miss Susato. There's the young girl next to Mr. McGilded. Look. She must have been the one who caused the disturbance before.
Well, after that rather eventful recess, the court will now resume the trial of Mr. Magnus McGilded. Now then, Lord Van Zeeks.
My lord.
I believe you have established the cause of the smoke, which veiled proceedings earlier.
It seems to have been an advanced form of smoke grenades, of the sort typically employed by the army.
Good gracious, the army? What in the devil's name?
It was an elaborate attempt by a young girl to cloak her escape from the public gallery. But she was caught. And now occupies the stand.
Your name, girl? Are you responsible for the smoke grenade which induced such pandemonium here in my courtroom? What is the meaning of this deplorable behavior?
If I may, my lord.
Yes, Mr. McGilded.
I think perhaps I ought to explain here why it is that this wee lass was here in the first place, and why she tried to bolt like that. This is all tied up with the events of that last night, so it is.
Very well, Mr. McGilded. Give your testimony. You will explain to the court exactly how this young woman is involved in the case.
Come on, just freaking tell me. Why does it have to turn into all this On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Then, begorra, a loud thud and a wee scream woke me up with a fair start. There was a fella collapsed on the floor so I sat him up on the seat across from me. Then I turned to find out where the scream had come from, and bless my soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, all curled up like in a ball, hiding her wee self away.
I remain somewhat baffled, I confess. From what I gathered on the night in question, this young girl was indeed riding in the omnibus. Is that correct?
'Tis exactly as the defense counsel said. This lass was the 5th passenger, my lord. But she's small and she snuck in because she couldn't afford it or some shit, right?
Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witnesses. Are you ready, counsel?
Yes, my lord. And when you first got onto the omnibus, were there any other passengers already on board? There were not. The cabin was empty and there was no one on the roof deck either.
You were the first passenger, as it were. I see.
That's why I took the back side as I did. 'Tis the most comfortable, so it is. Could you explain exactly what you mean by the back seat? By all means. 'Tis how you already described it earlier. I'm talking about the seat opposite the one in which the poor gentleman who was stabbed was sitting. Like I said, 'tis the most comfortable and where I feel most at ease. And of course, I enjoy gazing through the skylight from time to time as well. You sat him up, the victim, I mean? That I did. On the seat across from me, as I said. I could plainly see the poor devil was already gone. And you wouldn't leave a dead man just lying on the floor now, would you? 'Tis common courtesy, so it is.
I find that a little hard to believe.
Lord Van Zeeks. Now why would that be?
You wake to find a man lying dead at your feet in a carriage. Any normal person would hail the cabman. Anyway, upstanding member of London society. Or any... fuck.
Well, now, as you know, I'm in some of a special line of business.
The business of lending money at exorbitant rates of interest?
Unfortunately, my lord, not everyone is thankful for the help I offer them, and some would even see me dead. So I do try, where at all possible, to avoid getting myself in a tangle of trouble. Are you suggesting... Are you suggesting you were just going to leave the man there? Heavens alive, no, I was always intending to report it, so I was. Only, I had a mind to find out the whys and wherefores first. The whys and wherefores? Right, you are. There's some details I wanted to understand before anyone else got to meddling. That wee scream I heard before, for example. Wouldn't your good self do just the same?
Hold it!
What do you mean by that? Well, now, 'tis a queer thing. The wee scream I heard as I woke up. It came from, if you'll excuse the vulgar expression, under me backside.
Good gracious.
Under your backside? When I lifted the seat on which I'd been sitting, I found there was a wee cubby hole there for storage. Mr. Naruto, we can examine the omnibus ourselves, remember? Yes, of course. The whole bus was submitted as evidence. I already saw it. You say she was hiding herself? That's right. It was hard to see in the dim lamplight, but she was all curled up in a wee ball. When our eyes met, well, my heart nearly stopped beating in me chest. Still in all, I pulled her out from under there and sat her on a seat opposite so I could have a wee chinwag with her. The seat opposite? That's right, just next to the dead gentleman there.
You sat this young girl next to a corpse, sir?
Well, as I'm sure I mentioned, a gentleman in my position can all too often find himself in mortal danger. So, I need to find out just who this urchin was, you see. And while I was in the middle of talking with her, I heard another scream. A fella's voice this time. Right you are again, I would say, sir. Looking down through the skylight, he must have seen this young girl and the gentleman with a knife in his belly.
In other words, the previous witnesses did not, in fact, see you at all, Mr. McGilded. What they believed to be yourself and the victim was, in fact, this girl and the late Mr. Mason.
Aye, my lord. I was, as I think everyone understands now, sat at the back of the carriage out of sight.
It is certainly plausible. The defendant is somewhat diminutive in stature, and readily confused perhaps with this young girl.
After that, of course, with a scream from the gentleman over us, the driver realized something was wrong and pulled up the horses. I do wonder how you must be feeling, Mr. Naruhodo. Being the defendant's lawyer and yet finding myself as stunned as everyone else at his testimony. Let's just say it's trying. We certainly had precious little time to talk to Mr. McGilda before the trial. A loud thud, you say, and a scream? What a sound. You didn't see anyone, but at the same moment, you did hear a scream.
From the seats above you on the roof deck, I presume.
Not above me, no, my lord. It was from inside the cabin. I wasn't altogether thinking about the scream. No, I was too stunned by the desperate sight before me eyes.
Thank you, I've heard enough. The events as explained are clear in mind. However, at least one conundrum remains. Who is the girl?
Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer, earns a crust among large crowds, relieving people of their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocket. What?
This girl here, a petty thief? Order, order. Is this true, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade, you will answer the question. How dare you? What is the meaning of this? She's gone.
I'm over here.
Good gracious, how?
I know why you lot of thinking. Grown-ups are all the same. This dirty little dipper, you'll say. She got herself backed into a corner, so she knifed the gent. Go on, that's what's in your heads, ain't it? Look, knives are for cowards. Only thugs use weapons like that. All I need... I'm professional, alright? Maybe not in your eyes.
And Sherlock's gun. You admit that you were driving the omnibus on the night in question.
It's all right, lass. You can... Wait. It's all right, lass. You can tell him the truth now. I messed that up. All right, yeah. It's just like the Irishman said.
The court accepts this girl, Miss Gina Lestrade, as a valid and significant witness in this case. Accordingly, young lady, we will now hear your testimony, if you please. You will tell the court exactly what happened in the omnibus on the night in question.
All right, if I have to. So I snuck inside the carriage before they looked up the horses, just like always. It was a right old waste of time. I got nothing to show for me troubles that night. I'll tell you, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. Then after a while, I hear this loud bang. Nearly jumped out me skin, I did. And the scream just came out. It's because of that this swell found me. He did help me get away, mind. Okay, I understand what this character's trying to say now. Yes, he let you go.
I fail to understand why you would let the street urchin go, Mr. McGilded.
Oh, 'tis simplicity itself, my lord. You see, she couldn't possibly have killed the other passenger. I knew that for a fact. How? As I'm sure I said before, sir. I was sitting right on top of the place where she was hiding herself. I think a demonstration is called for. This is where I was sat that night.
And the cubbyhole of which you have spoken is underneath the seat, I presume? Yes, it does appear just large enough to accommodate someone of the girl's stature.
Maybe he was in the cubbyhole. He's small too. But of course the wheel ass was stuck in there, because I'd parked myself on the seat for the duration. So you see, that's why I let the last bolt. I knew that if the police found her there, they'd automatically assume she'd done it. I couldn't live with myself in a young life, if a young life was ruined when all the time I knew she was innocent.
Even though you must have realized your action would result in your own innocence being called into question?
Not at all, my lord, not at all. I knew in my own heart that I was innocent. So I thought it was worth taking a punt on my own good name for the sake of this less fortunate lass.
Saints alive. All 6 members of the jury consensual in their leaning to a verdict of not guilty?
Mr. Naruhodo, this, well, it must mean what? That we're victorious. We won? Are you sure?
Objection!
What?
If the sight of my iron-heeled Wellington offends prey, do forgive the discourtesy. This really is a consummate example of the one monumental flaw in British judicial practices. where evidence and reasoning should be paramount, emotion rules the day.
Emotion?
The witness's latest statement gives us a clear insight into his true nature.
What do you mean, his true nature?
Do you really think Scotland Yard would have made such a glaring omission? After the incident, the omnibus was comprehensively searched by officers of the police. Obviously, the interior of this cubbyhole, as a witness put it, was included in their investigation. The compartment under the posterior seat was full of the coachman's belongings. It's noted in black and white here in the police report. The evidence has been tampered with. In order to corroborate Mr. McGilded's story, someone has unlawfully removed everything from under the seat.
Damn. Yeah, there was stuff under there. That's what the smoke bomb shit was for. What's going on with this story, man?
How could such a devious contrivance possibly have been affected, counsel?
I guess effect.
Naturally, we must acknowledge the deficiencies of the constabulary in allowing this to have happened. However, I assure you when the omnibus was wheeled into the courtroom this morning, the compartment under the seat was not empty.
Oh, to be sure, the young gentleman will be able to clear this up in a jiffy. Sorry. Go ahead. You tell the court now, fella. Now, this is all an elaborate excuse by the desperate Lord Van Zeeks.
Well, counsel, do you have something to say on this matter?
This is very hard. The truth is, it wasn't empty. You can lie about it, or you can lie about it in another way. It's not who I am. I really don't know if giving the answer is helping my cause as counsel for the defense. But as far as I remember, at least. Court is about law and fucking facts. When I first examined the compartment, I'm fairly certain there are a number of articles inside it, yes.
Are you sure, counsel?
What are you saying now, you daft doll? I thought you were on my side here.
Truth and justice, not just fucking bullshit.
What game are you playing? Your task to defend the man in the stand.
No, it's my task is to... Oh, yeah.
Why would you say something to compromise his position?
Because this case isn't over, buddy. As the advocate for the defense in this trial, I confess I'm still not entirely sure where I stand, but it seems to me that I should state what facts I do know as clearly and honestly as possible.
Interesting.
'Tis not altogether pleasing, fella. I'm simply telling the truth, Mr. McGilded. Well, don't forget that you're supposed to be representing my best interests here, lad. Now then. A fellow's memory is a curious thing, not altogether reliable, nor the court must consider the facts. That there cubbyhole under the seat is as empty as the devil's heart, so it is. Do you think perhaps it would be in your best interest now to admit that you might have mistaken? That compartment is designed to house equipment used to maintain the smooth running of the carriage. The Guild's rule states that omnibuses should properly and fully equipped at all times, so it certainly wouldn't have been empty on the night in question. Beppo isn't that irresponsible. That money-lending fleecer and the pick purse are lying. They are guilty. Can't believe I was nearly taken in. Stinking wrench are all stinkers. Nothing but cowards. The lot of them. What? It's a trick. Of course it's a trick. Quite so. I must concur here.
My lords, I humbly exhibit the scales of justice. Clearly, a verdict of not guilty at this time would be wholly inappropriate.
Thank you, counsel. But before we proceed any further, there is the matter of the outstanding cross-examination. Counsel for the defense, begin your questioning of the witness, please.
Yes, my lord. When you say a loud bang, do you mean the noise of someone falling to the floor? Could have been, I suppose. I don't remember so well. Point is, it made me jump. And you let out a scream involuntarily? That's right, and then I felt the cushion over me head get light all of a sudden. Presumably when the defendant got up in order to help the victim, yes.
Or not. It could equally have been the moment the accused stood in order to stab his victim, could it not?
Well, girl, did you see what happened at the crucial moment?
Yeah, I saw it. I pushed up the cushion and added quick butchers while I had the chance, didn't I? The Irishman was sitting up the bloke what had fallen on the floor on the seat opposite. That matches Mr. McGovern's account, of course. But then, the fella suddenly turned around and looks right at me. I sunk back down again, but it was too late by then. I should never have risked looking. And when Mr. McGilda discovered you, he pulled you out from your hiding place? I was scared stiff, I was. He dragged me out and sat me down in the seating hall. Next to the victim, Mr. Mason? Yeah. The bloke had a knife in his guts. He was still bleeding. Then the carriage lurched a bit and he ended up falling onto me. Both me hands got covered in blood. It made me feel sick as a dog. Yep. After that, I believe you talked with Mr. McGilda for a while. Is that correct? He asked me some stuff. Wanted to know me name and what I was up to in that. Then I heard something from above. Someone screamed.
Yes, Mr. First on the roof deck, one would presume.
I didn't know one was seeing me face, so I didn't look up. Then the horses were drawn up smartish, and this here Irishman says to me, "Get back under the seat. I'll see that you can get away later." All 6 members of the jury had decided the defendant was innocent. For one brief shining moment, yes. It's clear that they are still very unsure. If we could just find some conclusive piece of evidence among this new testimony. So you're already in the omnibus before it even set off on its run? Well, yeah, I mean, what's the point of spending a Joey to make a few bob, eh? That's a rum idea, isn't it?
Counsel, may I remind you that this girl is a petty thief? Kindly refrain from entertaining her tenants.
Well, it does clear up a little... It does clear up a little mystery of the fares and all. 4 paying passengers at 5 pence apiece, making the 20 to which the cabman testified, and 1 little scapegrace riding for free. The red Concover driver always goes for some grub before his last run, see? So that's why I slip into the carriage and get myself in under the seat. Nice and easy, right?
But your hiding place is a storage compartment. Full of equipment for the coach, no?
Yeah, there's brushes and buckets and whatnot in there, sure. Always chuck it all that out and cram it in a corner somewhere. No one ever seems to bother much.
And yet, according to the report filled by the police officer who first arrived at the scene, the compartment was full of such paraphernalia.
Well, I don't know nothing about that. Like I said, I moved all that stuff so I could hide under the seat. That's all I can tell you.
It seems you've reached the end of that line of inquiry. Continue?
Bro.
Hold it!
A waste of time? Why is that? Well, most of the nights I'm on my own in the guard permit. At least some of the time.
I beg your pardon, did you say God permit?
Oh yeah, well that's what my kind call it. You'd say the omnibus, I suppose. The point is, any normal run, the carriage ain't got no one in it for a while. And that's when you come out of your hiding place and get away. That's it, only that night. This cove was out of me from the start. He didn't budge all the way, did he? Not 1 inch. I was totally stuck.
Do you mean to tell us that you were present in the carriage for the duration? You were under the seat the entire time while events unfolded in the enclosed cabin?
Yeah, right, mister.
To be sure. I was as shocked as anyone. You don't expect to lift the cushion you've been sat on and find a child now, do you? So this Miss Lestrade couldn't possibly be the culprit then.
Hold it!
So you couldn't see out into the cabin at all?
No, I jump. Most days I push the cushion up with me head and look out the crack. Then I can have a butcher's at what I'm gonna fiddle.
I thought you were a pickpocket, not a butcher.
I mean, I could have a look. You see, I get under ain't as plush as the other one, see? So most of the time, the passengers find themselves opposite. For some reason that night, this Irishman spent the whole journey right over me head. I ain't too happy in small dark places.
Well, no. Excuse me.
Yeah, what's that all about?
Is something wrong, Mr. McGilded?
Oh, I do apologize. Was there something the matter, Counsel?
I'm just wondering if Miss Lestrade's last comment made something occur to you, perhaps.
You seem to be thinking something to yourself.
Oh, no, it was nothing important. I was feeling bad for the poor lass is all. I remember feeling desperate myself as a young lad, shut up in the dark. It was terrifying, so it was. I see, yes, I'm sure we can all sympathize. And I don't know about yourself, but I find that the darkness seems to make everything you hear seem that much louder as well.
Yeah. I suppose it does, maybe.
Did you hear something that night? Anything? An unusual noise, perhaps?
Not really. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring.
There's no need to tell the whole world of me foibles, you little scamp.
What a pity. If only Miss Lestrade had heard something, it might have given us a vital new clue.
Yes. My lord, I believe the statement just made by the witness is profoundly important.
Profoundly important? But all she said was that she heard nothing.
Yes, which is the profoundly important point. I'm almost sure of it.
I'm almost sure that I don't understand the inner workings of your Eastern Mind Council. Nevertheless, Miss Gina Lestrade, you'll supplement your formal testimony by repeating the last statement, please.
Don't give me all your fancy talk. I know what you're trying to do. It won't work on me. So you were straining to hear what was happening the entire time, since the moment you hit yourself. Not exactly now. Sorry. Well, there was none in the cabin to start with. I just pushed the cushion up and out of butcher's to see what was what. But then when I saw this swell getting on, I got my head down so he didn't notice me. And Mr. McGill had sat on the seat under which you were hiding, correct? But you had him and leave it, eh? What a mug. So then all I could do was listen. I was waiting to jump out there as soon as I heard him leave, see? But were you not likely? Even though he stopped here and there, I never heard the door open. So I just had to stay put and listen to him driving his pigs to market, snoring like a dog he was. Mr. Strahd, what you have just told the court is clearly at odds with the facts.
At odds? Are you sure, man?
Absolutely.
It seems my learned Nipponese friend is not as dull-witted as I feared.
I must insist that you bolster your claim with evidence, or some complicit party's name at the very least.
Damn, I really don't even know. Yeah, she should have heard the guy, right? She should have heard him scream out.
Take that!
Let's go! I got it.
Thrice fired Mason?
Yeah, because he would have cried out in pain or some shit. Yes, my lord. The sound that Miss Lestrade cannot have failed to hear is that of the victim, Mr. Mason, boarding the omnibus. Let's go.
Order. Explain your reasoning, counsel.
Do I have to? Miss Lestrade allowed me to confirm something. Or allow me to confirm something. You claimed earlier that you were the first person on board the omnibus. Is that correct? Yeah, of course I was. I got on while the driver was in the pub, didn't I? And the next person to board the omnibus was Mr. McGilded? That it was. Not a soul was in the cabin when I climbed aboard. At least not in plain sight. So you were, to all intents and purposes, alone in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus at that night? Did I not just say as much? I wasn't traveling with anyone else, if that's what you mean. Yeah, I saw him get on, remember? Through the crack under the seat cushion? He was on it, his own for sure. And from what we've heard, the carriage made a number of stops after that on its onward journey. During which time did you not hear the door opening or closing at all? No, I never heard it. That's exactly what I was listening for, wasn't it? Waiting for this swell to leave? In which case, when and how did the victim end up in the carriage? We know that the victim collapsed inside the enclosed cabin of the omnibus. Therefore, Miss Lestrange's statement about what she did or did not hear is at odds with the facts.
Yes, the petty thief statement was clearly flawed.
You're trying to downplay my shit.
Lord Van Zeeks.
It would seem words of thanks are in order for my learned friend.
What are you talking about?
You have demonstrated matters impeccably. This witness and her colorful statements are entirely unreliable. Her words are convenient untruths, nothing more.
I didn't want to judge dear little Mike just because she has some rather naughty ways, but I must say, I can't abide liars.
And neither can I.
Mr. Foreman,
I didn't want to judge the girl just because she has some less than salubrious ways. But I must say, I cannot abide liars.
All your consideration for others is refreshing, my Nipponese friend. To the considerable troubles you have spared me. Yes, very refreshing.
what are you playing at? Have you forgotten who you're working for, you useless Eastern Amadon? This is carnage, it's perfect. Mr. Naruto, the way this is going, I very much want to believe the words of one of London's most respected gentlemen, but those of us in service know we must accept hard truths.
Hold it!
Oh. Yes, the witness's last statement seems to have revealed a critical inconsistency in her story. However, if we consider the possibility that her statement is in fact the truth, it may shed an entirely new light on this whole case.
What are you saying? Counsel?
I'm sorry, sir. Whatever do you mean?
Counsel, I will not tolerate you attempting to prorogue my adjudication. Explain yourself at once.
When the accused boarded the omnibus on the night in question, the victim was nowhere to be seen. Subsequently, the carriage door was not heard opening a single time, as testified by the witness in the stand.
Yet the victim's body was found inside the carriage.
If this petty thief's words are to be believed, I do explain the victim's miraculous appearance inside the cabin of the omnibus.
I'm gonna have to say there's another entrance. He was put there after he died. It's kind of goofy. There's another entrance. I think I was wrong. If the door wasn't open even once, the only explanation is that the victim entered the enclosed cabin some other way. Fuck.
I wonder what new fantasy you would come up with in your blind panic.
Shit. Maybe I should have examined it.
Only one side of the enclosed cabin is furnished with a door. The other only has windows. Fixed windows, which cannot possibly open. In short, there's no entrance to the cabin other than the door.
But there could be. There's one possibility you haven't considered.
Oh, really?
Yes. One other way inside that isn't the door. Another opening, the use of which allowed the victim to appear inside the enclosed cabin. I guess I was right.
Alright, Council. What the hell are you talking about? Here's the omnibus on which the incident occurred. What on earth is this entrance by which you propose the victim entered the cabin? Well, if I use my... If you would open your fucking eyes, you would see that this is the entrance.
I was right. The answer is obvious. It can only have been the skylight.
I say... The skylight?
Objection!
Your ludicrous proposal almost has me lost for words.
Objection.
However,
The skylight may well be large enough for someone to pass through. So what is it looking like? I'm thinking it's this freaking guy. Could be him. That'd be crazy if it was him. It would redeem me thinking that this game is kind of whack if it was this guy. Because I do not expect him at all. It ain't her. It ain't Beppo. If it was Beppo or this dude, I'd be like, oh shit. But it's leaning to this dude. He has that debt. No one else. The skylight may well be large enough for someone to pass through.
Objection!
so you claim. But do you have a shred of evidence to support your addle-brain theory?
Both Mr. McGilded and Miss Lestrade said the same in their testimonies. They each claimed to have heard a loud thud, such as the noise made by someone falling to the floor.
Yes, which has already been explained as the sound of the victim falling from a seat having been assaulted with a dagger.
Yes, it has, but would a man slipping from a seat onto the floor really have made such a loud noise as the witnesses describe? Kinda. A noise loud enough to cause Miss Lestrade to let out an involuntary cry, in fact.
Good gracious.
Perhaps, in fact, that was the moment that the victim made his entrance into the cabin. No, let me rephrase that. The victim didn't enter the cabin as such. He fell into it. Damn.
Objection!
That's crazy.
You're now suggesting that the victim fell from the skylight into the cabin. That's simply impossible.
How can you be so sure?
Because the victim had fallen inside through the skylight, as you say. The passengers on the roof deck would have seen it happen. And yet, not one person made mention of such events in their testimony.
Well, yes, that's true, but... Might a humble fella make a wee comment here? Mr. McGilded? To be sure now, the two fellas who were sat on the roof testified afore. Said nothing of the victim falling through the skylight. But it seems to me, my lord, that 'tis not so much a case of them saying, but... 'tis a case of them being unable to say. I think perhaps the two fellas do be having some of a compelling reason not to mention what happened. Would you not agree, fine ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Shit, it's you weirdos. So what are you insinuating here, you blitherer? You rotter, he said, you rotter. What are you insinuating? That's a weird animation. That's flaming outrage. I've a good mind to give you a blink in a minute. He'll give you a shine in a minute, he said, and so will I. Mr. Fairplay. You're effectively accusing me, a city gentleman and a well-respected banker. And me, a very angry hatter. Suggesting that someone like me could have stabbed that man in the guts. It's a disgrace. It's scandalous. It's... Ugh. I protest in the strongest possible terms. That's right, I protest too. About you rotten scoundrel. Yeah, they would have them that close to each other.
This is not the time, witnesses. I will not permit this wanton invasion of the stand. Return to the ante-room at once.
Oh, they just came out here. That's crazy.
My lord, if I may comment.
Go ahead, Lord Van Zeeks.
It was the defense that incited this outburst from the witnesses. My learned friend has seen fit to abandon all protocol and accuse the witnesses without proof.
Accuse? I never intended to.
It seems, young Nipponese, that your command of the English tongue is wanting. You proposed to this court that the victim fell to the skylight from the roof deck of the omnibus. That hypothesis cannot possibly stand without the rooftop passengers being aware of the event. You have branded these gentlemen liars. You have intimated their criminal guilt. In our British court of law, that is what is termed a baseless accusation.
I know I was rash to put this idea forward without any actual evidence, but you can't just dismiss it without a second thought. What are we wasting time for? Get them to testify.
I thought there was something fishy about that hat from the moment I laid eyes on the fellow.
We have to see this matter through now, one way or another. If there's filth and rubbish in our midst, we must dispose of it at once.
Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First.
My lord.
You will take the stand again and make another formal testimony in reference to the indictment brought by the defense.
Yes, my lord.
What the hell? I didn't come here for this. Why are they all scared? Is someone there that's didn't want them to speak? Dude, what's up with that hat? Dude, if he's the murderer, that is the craziest thing ever. This game will actually be good to me. But if it's the dude on the left, it's like, okay, well, we saw this coming from 80 hours ago. We were the only two people up on that roof deck. Dead or alive, I can swear to that. If anything had happened where we were sitting, don't you think one or the other of us would have noticed? In any case, neither of us know the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man. The skylight was shut the entire time. I tell you, we couldn't possibly have opened it. What do you mean by that? I'm definitely pressing that comment. If your search show the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? Back off.
I must say that on the listening to this testimony, it is somewhat hard to imagine how either witness could have performed any malevolent act on this open roof deck without the other noticing forthwith.
That's right, you see.
We're innocent. We're innocent, I tell you.
What?
Yeah, you guys are working together.
According to the investigations by Scotland Yard, the two witnesses share no common dealings.
Well, I don't trust coppers any more than I trust this stinking rich. I'm with you, bro. Someone's working with. They have some kind of weird stuff going on. I'm gonna say that.
Counsel for the defense, over to you. Your cross-examination, please.
Yes, my lord. Transition.
Hold it!
So, at no time did the victim, Mr. Mason, climb up to join you on the roof deck.
Absolutely not, Dickon.
No question about it, he said. Not at all. Oh, but yes, of course. I remember seeing them both. I saw the victim inside the enclosed cabin talking with this man here.
Is this true, Mr. McGilded?
Dear me, my lord. At the risk of repeating I boarded the omnibus alone and nodded off inside almost immediately.
That's an outright lie.
That's an outright lie. Without doubt, you're engaged in.
Let me stop you right there, fella, and ask, do you have any evidence at all? At all? Tis all about evidence in the court these days, so it is. You do well to remember that.
I saw you.
Saw you with my own eyes.
Hold it!
You guys are working together for saying that. Well, it was on the final run of the omnibus at past 10 o'clock in the evening. It would certainly have been quite dark, perhaps too dark to see clearly.
Is this some kind of a lark?
This is some kind of a joke, he said. Is that what this is? Or perhaps one or the other of you fell asleep briefly.
Are you fair dinkum, sir?
Are you serious, sir? That's what he said. It's impossible, I tell you.
I'll give you the keys to the vault if you can fall asleep in that bitter cold.
And if you did manage it, your eyelids your eyelids would freeze shut and you never open them again. It was extreme, I tell you, and we had to put up with it because this man had locked the door. Any true gent would have unlocked it and let me in when I knocked.
I'm dreadfully sorry about that, young fella, but you see, I was away with the fairies. I didn't hear you at all.
I said, I saw you through the glass. You were talking to someone.
No, it was a cold night, so it was. People do be seeing things that aren't real in the cold. It's just hardly surprising.
Seeing things.
I believe we have reached an impasse here on this particular point.
You.
Don't take it personally now, lad. I'm a suspect in this case. It is only fair that you and the other fiend are too. Open and free competition is what a capitalist society is all about. This isn't a competition I should like to be involved in, really.
Objection!
Oh, guess that didn't work. I was trying to state the reason that he had her dead, and so he would try to pin the murder on McGilded. I guess I should have pressed first.
Hold it!
So, you had never met Mr. Thrice Fired Mason before?
No, not once, never.
You never met the man before, he said. And you, Mr. First, had no prior dealings with the victim either? That's right, sir. I just don't have much to do with brickmakers, to be honest. Perfectly honest, sir.
No, I imagine not.
You see, how many different ways can I put this? The of us have the remotest connection to the gentlemen who are inside the cabin. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't have presented that info. I should have did this.
Yes, counsel, what can I be doing you for?
Did the witness's last statement give you pause for thought somehow?
Not the remotest connection. Is that right now? I wonder.
What are you insinuating now?
Ah, Mr. Fairplay, it's been too long, so it has. If I'm not very much mistaken, I believe it's fast approaching, is it not? Your payment date?
I beg your pardon.
You borrowed 20 guineas from me, sir.
An unconscionable rate of interest.
You tricked me. It's extortion. Well, now, is that a touch of begrudgery, is it? The sort of begrudgery that might motivate a fellow to pass his crimes off on another?
Yeah, dude.
And young Mr. First.
What you want with me, sir?
You do be making hats for a living, do you not? That there top hat sliding about on your head. Is that one of your own creations, is it?
I'm still an apprentice, you understand? I'm learning to find the perfect fit for whatever fine gent walks through the door.
The perfect fit, is it? Well, 'tis a very distinctive design, so it is.
Many customers like it, I tell you. They like a distinctive touch.
Customers, such as Thrice Fired Mason.
Oh shit, does this hat have that? I didn't even notice. Guess it is kind of stitchy. Nice, dude. There was a photographic print of the victim submitted as evidence before, my lord.
Damn, was it Hat Boy?
I can't help thinking that the poor fella's hat looks distinctly familiar. Wouldn't he say?
Damn.
That's one of my hats. That it is. So it would seem that the brickmaker was a customer of yours.
That's crazy.
The sort of customer, I'd wager, you could have a wee quarrel with over distinctiveness of the goods. Absolutely not, sir. Well, there's none really... Wait, what the hell? There's really nothing more to add. It wouldn't be right to say that the two fellas here haven't the remotest connection to the victim, you see. I rest my case.
You little weasel. Oh.
He's better at this than I am.
Hey, he did get that out of him.
Gosh, Mr. McGill has certainly been thorough in his research, hasn't he?
Good shit, bro. That was clean. Hat Hunter, I got an achievement. Okay. Yeah, that was a weird achievement. So they are linked. Press this. This is definitely something.
Are you quite certain about that? That the skylight was shut the entire time?
Going to lose my block with you in a minute.
He's going to lose his rag with you in a minute, that's what he said.
Take a look at yourself. Go on. You see, it's shut fast now, just like it was on the night.
So it is, so of course. A fellow the size of Mr. Mason could lightly break right through it, still and all. Just looking at the size of the thing, you understand.
Now, hold on a minute there, sir. The size of the thing means nothing. Not on its own. Let's consider the bigger picture here, shall we?
Let's stop biting our cane, shall we? I was riding the omnibus on another occasion when, well, I broke wind loudly. I shocked myself with it, as it happens.
This is an unexpected confession, Mr. First.
I just mean to say, well, the point is I tried to open the skylight, you see. But, just my luck, I couldn't make it budge. The stench was terrible. Everyone was looking daggers at me, sir. I went as red as rouge, I did.
Are you expecting me to sentence you?
The point is, the skylight can't be open. I tried and tried when I was inside that cabin of shame.
Wait, what?
Inside that cabin of shame. Wait, what? Do you have something to say about that, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade. It opens. The skylight. That's what we're talking about, right? No. All of them skylights open. Dead easy. That's an I tell you. Otherwise, when I broke wind, I can't do it from the inside, you monk. Look, a few weeks ago, I was up on the roof deck of one of them drags, and I had a green hole. I mean, I had purses coming out my ears. Well, anyway, I had a bit of a scare. When I lifted the last bloke's purse, he got wise to me. All four of them surrounded me, so I couldn't hop off the bus and leg it. So what I did was I used the skylight, opened the catch, and jumped right through. Yeah, the catch for them skylights is on the top side. That's why you can't open them from the cabin. The skylight opens from the roof deck.
Climb up on top of the roof of the omnibus at once and verify the Wyndham's claims, bailiff.
See?
Order! So it appears that this street girl statement is quite true.
Mr. Naruhodo, this could be the clue we've been looking for.
Well, counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination.
Oh, yes, my lord. Why, yes, my lord.
Hold it!
That's right, I demand to hear it. You came to hear what we saw, I tell you, not for this. Oh, wait. But you call us both shysters, brand us as criminals. You call us liars, that's what he means, and accuse of us of doing it. As it stands at the moment, there's no hard evidence that incriminates yourselves, now is there? I believe we're in much the same position as one another here. Yeah. He's missing a button. It's crazy.
Objection!
Damn it. What was wrong?
Objection!
Bro, what the hell? Oh, cool. Damn. What the fuck? Bro.
Objection!
Dude, are you kidding me?
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty!
Guilty.
Do this long ass part.
Wait, that ain't...
Objection!
Dude, what the fudge?
Hold it! Objection! Objection!
On the night in question, the victim was fatally stabbed in the stomach. And immediately afterwards, the victim's body was pushed through the skylight into the cabin below. Those are the facts, and the irrefutable proof remains clearly visible in the omnibus that stands before us today in this very courtroom. That's utter humbug. You can't possibly have any evidence. No, you can't. I mean, we didn't do it, I tell you. It's impossible.
Irrefutable proof here in this courtroom.
Counsel, I believe everyone would appreciate a little clarification here. Where exactly within the omnibus is this evidence to which you allude?
Got it!
By Jupiter, is that blood?
This bloodstain proves two things. Firstly, when the incident occurred, the skylight of the omnibus was open. And secondly, the victim was already bleeding when he fell through the opening. And so it follows that Mr. McGilded, who was inside the enclosed cabin himself at the time, cannot possibly be guilty of this crime.
No!
Hold it!
But the blood could have sprayed up. Wait, what? But the blood could have sprayed up when the fellow was stabbed inside the cabin. And only found its way to that one particular spot on the skylight? Sure, that would be very convenient. Let's keep it in mind that the skylight catch can only be unfastened from the roof deck. I myself wouldn't have been able to open it now, wouldn't I? There's no way to know for certain, is there? If the jet really fell through the skylight, I mean. Why don't you have a good look at the floor of the cabin between the two seats, Mr. First? This is all too plain, if you see. There's the aftermath that shows the poor fella dropped from a fair height right there, so it is.
Hold it!
My fellow jury members, I think we can all agree that this is a clear proof of the defense's innocence, can we? Defendant's innocence.
I believe we can, sir. It's clear to me where the filthy rubbish can be found in the courtroom. So they thought they could pull the wool over my eyes, did they? I won't tolerate any of the guilt's carriages being sullied with blood. I won't tolerate it. Oh, I always knew that the night gentleman who gave us that delightful park couldn't have done such a thing.
On three then, everyone. 1, 2...
Objection!
Oh.
A chilling performance, Mr. McGilded.
Come on. What would you be referring to there now, Lord Van Zeeks? Probably Von Zeeks, right?
blood stain on the frame of the skylight. Such evidence is null and void.
What? Why?
For one extremely simple reason. That smear of blood never existed.
Objection!
What are you talking about?
Objection!
I personally attended Scotland Yard investigation of the omnibus.
Fuck.
The officers involved went over the carriage with a fine-tooth comb. So I can say with absolute surety, no such smear of blood existed in the carriage. At least not until this trial began.
I must say I didn't expect such crude reasoning from a prosecutor of your standing, Lord Von Zeeks. But I'm Magnus McGilded, a fellow known all over the capital for his fine contributions to public life. I don't take kindly to slander, and I'll fight it to the bitter end, even if it's rolling off the tongue of the Reaper of the Bailey.
Mr. McGilded, I realize that this is your first appearance in court as the accused. However, I am well aware of your involvement behind the scenes in a great many affairs of dubious nature. You're very adept when it comes to avoiding getting your own hands dirty. And each time it happens that a case you're involved in is investigated, you adapt the facts. Tampering with evidence, manipulating the scene of a crime, bribing witnesses. I toast your ability to concoct the most convenient of stories, sir.
Lord Von Zeeks, this will not do to be sure. Will it now, counsel? I think it's fair to say this does all sound like a rather far-fetched excuse by a desperate man. The blood on the skylight didn't exist, you say. But if you all will cast your minds back, is it not true that the omnibus there has been in the courtroom the entire time? How could anyone possibly have put a smear of blood in it without the world and his wife seeing? Isn't that right now, counsel? No. The smoke bomb shit.
You're steering your opinion on this matter in your own words.
No. Yeah, it could have been possible. No, man. You gotta know all the facts before making... I don't know, man. It's hard. In terms of having the opportunity to carry out the alleged tampering, there is one possibility.
Explain yourself, counsel.
Fucking smoke bomb, come on, man. Are you dumb?
Yes, there is. It seems my learned Nipponese friend has no intention of running from his deceit.
Deceit?
I'm sure everyone still remembers clearly the recess that we were forced to take as a result of the smoke grenade fired by the witness currently in the stand, Miss Gina Lestrade. I don't know if it would sound like that. courtroom was filled with smoke and everyone was thrown into confusion. All of us were made to leave this chamber. In that brief interval, under the veil of smoke, and in all the chaos, it could have been possible to steal inside the omnibus. What are you trying to pull, you rotten, feckless gouger? You're supposed to be defending me. Tis a wicked plot. Tis a plot to undermine me, so it is.
Objection!
Bro, you should want the truth if you're innocent.
Whatever you think this is, it changes nothing. The facts are the same. After this courtroom was evacuated earlier as a result of the smoke grenade, a number of inconsistencies materialized in relation to the omnibus. To start with, the storage compartment underneath the rear passenger seat. When the police investigated the omnibus, this compartment was full of the driver's items. Secondly, we have the smear of blood on the edge of the skylight.
No one is able to corroborate your claims. Accordingly, I'm afraid to say we cannot establish with any certainty if this evidence is a result of tampering or not.
Indeed, my lord, no doubt there is not a single person who saw fit to verify such things.
Is there anything else unusual? My lord, at this moment in time, I can point out one other inconsistency. A mark that surely could not have been present at the start of the trial. Suzuto, what are you doing? Or what are you doing? Examine the omnibus with you, don't forget. There's something that seems out of place compared to how the carriage looked originally. That's what we need to identify now. What in the devil's name are you gonna say now? If you dare betray me, you little maggot, you better start watching your back.
Silence of gilded. The courtroom awaits the defense's clarification.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's already here. Shit. I don't remember. It's gonna appear at some point during the trip. Appeared at some point. Guess this, right? Is what you're trying to say?
it!
If we consider that the victim fell through the skylight onto the floor of the cabin, you would certainly expect to find signs of blood where he landed. But as far as I recall, this bloodstain on the cabin floor was not there when the omnibus was first brought into the courtroom. Was it?
Yes, I do believe you're correct, counsel.
Although as advocate for the defense, one might say that was a very careless slip of the tongue.
I believe that bloodstain on the floor is a decisive piece of evidence. But if the question is whether the evidence is genuine or whether it was unlawfully fabricated by someone, I feel compelled to admit that there's at least a possibility that the evidence is fake. This trial is over. Mr. McGilded, I've done everything I possibly can to cooperate with the court, but it is all over now. But you're the defendant. It is over, I tell ye. Memory, recollection, what people think they saw, it is all nonsense. Facts are what counts, and the fact is that blood stain is there, now. And over the course of this desperate trial, long and extremely drawn out as it has been, that good-for-nothing Reaper of the Bailey has failed to present any decisive evidence at all. I'm scandalized, so I am. I thought better of Lord Von Zeeks. Well, my lord,
I must concur with the defendant. The unaffirmed recollections of an individual cannot stand as evidence. At this moment in time, the particular bloodstain in the question is very much in existence. In the absence of any credible method by which to prove its alleged previous non-existence, I regret to say that it would be improper for this trial to continue.
your lordship can't be serious.
Lord Van Zeeks, what is your position?
The prosecution, my lord, has no further witnesses or evidence to present.
Very well. In that case, as I believe we have explored every possible avenue in this matter, I shall proceed to my adjudication. As formality, I am of course obliged to confirm with the defense first.
As things stand at the moment, it would seem that Mr. McGilda will be found not guilty. Yes, which would mean we've won. Is that really the right outcome here? Is it really alright for the trial to come to an end now with all these unexplained inconsistencies?
Counsel for the defense, your closing statement, please.
Yes, my lord. As Mr. McGilded's legal representative, I believe the defendant, Magnus McGilded, to be innocent of the allegations brought against him.
Thank you, counsel.
This guy.
You see my Nipponese friend in the most abject closing I have yet to hear in a court of law. Bro, why are you laughing right now? It was a grand decision to appoint you as my lawyer, so it was a grand decision. You saved one of London's most influential gentlemen, fella. You should be proud of yourself. You had us for your troubles. Your job here is done, fella, and some fine work you've done, so you have. What do you mean? It's just as the right honorable gentleman so succinctly put it before. The trial can't go on anymore. And your closing statement there was, how did he put it now? None more than a formality. What the fuck? Wow. Yo, what?
What the hell is happening?
Was the evidence we've seen genuine or was it fake? This all shit would be fuming, and the unsightly rubbish should be. Stinking rich are always guilty of something. Mark my words. I feel terribly ashamed that I ever doubted that lovely man who gave us the part.
Now that proceedings have unfolded in this way, I am compelled to declare a premature end to this trial. Furthermore, the court must accept the defendant's plea.
Why do I feel so wrong about this? Like, why is this dude laughing? I thank you kindly, my lord.
I hereby pronounce the verdict of this court.
Objection!
What? Oh shit, dude. Well, we still haven't determined if the bloodstain in the omnibus is genuine or not. We don't know if these witnesses are telling the truth or a pack of lies. We have no idea about the truth.
Lord Van Zeeks,
My lord.
the case made by the prosecution was flawed, plain and simple. If indeed the omnibus presented as evidence was tampered with, the prosecution is at fault for allowing such a disgraceful perversion of justice to take place.
My sincerest apologies, my lord.
Objection!
But wait. When we were evacuated from the courtroom, Lord Van Zeeks ordered the evidence to be secured.
I'm afraid the prosecution cannot shun responsibility in this matter.
That's so unfair.
The culpability of the defendant has not, at the present time, been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment.
Well, Lord Von Zeeks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. As for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense. If you'd like to pursue this matter further, you can always go ahead and try to change the law. Magnus McGilded. Good grief, you've more to say with me, have you? Just one thing, a warning. This is far from over. Well, something to be looking forward to then.
I hereby pronounce the defendant, Mr. Magnus McGilded,
Shit, why do I feel so bad about this?
not guilty.
Yeah, they should have examined the evidence more. Maybe he wasn't cool absent court. It seems guilty. With the courtroom in pandemonium for the second time that day, the judge delivered his verdict. And my first ever trial in Great Britain came to an abrupt end, with the defendant being found not guilty, ostensibly a victory for us. It certainly was a long trial. Your first ever trial on foreign soil and your first victory. It was a wonderful performance. My heartfelt congratulations. And to you, Mr. Zoe, thank you for your assistance. I suppose we should be happy. The trouble is, we're still completely in the dark about what actually happened. Oh, we didn't have enough time. But isn't it wrong? I mean, who's actually responsible for Mr. Mason's death? We don't even know that. The sole aim of the defense is to obtain a verdict that exonerates the defendant. You carried out your duty to perfection. Mr. McGill did? Well, it seems the stories are true. What stories? About the 6 enormous fireworks they do be letting off when there's a verdict of not guilty. I'm sure you must have seen them now. Spectacular, wouldn't you say? Yes, definitely. I heard it was a sight to behold, and to be sure it was. And I viewed a tank, I suppose, for having an opportunity to see it. I don't know about that. I'm not sure I really did anything. Wonder if you're saying, fella, how did I walk out of there a free man then? I don't think it was so much thanks to me as down to your planning. You're a straight-talking fella, aren't you? I must say you had me astray in the head there once or twice. But you're young and headstrong. Oh, it's his water under the bridge. Congratulations, Mr. McGilden, on having your name cleared. There's only one thing that matters to me. They've all seen that I didn't do that odious and abstinent deed. 'Tis grand, is it not? Now the fine fellows of Scotland Yard can take matters in hand and sort out any wee details. They'll see it for what it is. They'll get to the truth. I've absolute faith in them, so I have. After all, I do be providing a good number of their wages with all the taxes I pay. So then, as we agreed aforehand, 1,000 guineas for your troubles, fella. I couldn't possibly accept that much. You're humble people, are ye? You from the East? Well, if you insist. But have this still and all. You deserve a reward.
Mr. Magnus McGill did. Everything is ready, sir, if you'd like to follow me into the courtroom.
What's this, officer? 'Tis sooner than I was led to believe.
Hope it's not an inconvenience, sir. There were some changes to the schedule.
Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection. They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. They're going to examine it again now? Naturally, I'm under no obligation to take part in any more of this matter now, but as an upstanding member of London society, I do be doing me best to help where I can. 'Tis a gentleman's duty, so it is. So then, fare thee well. 'Twas an absolute pleasure meeting you. Hope you have a whale of a time while you're studying here in Great Britain. Don't move. Miss Lestrade, would you mind putting that thing down? You're a grown-up. And I hate all grown-ups. Oh, there you are. Oh, shit.
Naughty, naughty, running off like that. And taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial of my experimental smoke grenade launcher. So you wanna play? You won't be me.
Excuse me, but who are you?
Oh, good day to you. Well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine. Well, normally smoke grenades are so dull, don't you agree? White, white, more white. If you have to be shrouded in smoke, it can at least be a pretty color, I thought to myself.
Do we have to be shrouded in smoke, though? At all?
I just took my eyes off it a moment whilst I was changing onto a different omnibus, and she pinched it. Luckily, I fitted it with a telegraphic beacon. Anyway, you're coming with me now, back to the laboratory. To apologize. You mean say sorry? You must say sorry when you've done something wrong. Surely an adult has taught you that before.
An adult? I don't listen to no adults.
Come along then, follow me. Oh good, you see, I knew you'd wanted the right thing in the end.
Okay.
We'll be leaving now then. Bye-bye. I'm so sorry for all the fuss. Well, do you think perhaps we ought to be on our way now, too?
Yes, you're right, but where to? We haven't had time to find a place to stay. No sooner had we arrived in London than we had to rush here. All our traveling cases are still at the bailiff.
I was originally planning to spend today in search of lodgings, but at this late hour in the day I'm afraid we may be out of luck. Don't worry though, I have a plan. If worse comes to worse, I've heard of a lovely park where we could spend the night.
Please tell me you're not thinking of McGilded Park.
I know it may be a little chilly at this time of year, but our youthfulness will see it through.
I'm not so sure about that. I think a midwinter London night will freeze a young person solid just as easily as an elderly one. And so, the trial to determine my worthiness for the study tour was over by the end of our first day in London. However, as we were soon to learn, there were more trying times ahead. Just as the Reaper of the Bailey had warned, the case was far from over.
What's going on? Get the fire brigade! Water! Bring water, quick! What the? How did this happen?
I don't know, sir. By the time I got here, it was already engulfed.
No one was supposed to be allowed in here before we started investigating.
Yo, What the?
God. There's someone in there.
This can't be.
Yo, that was crazy. That ending was awesome. And it's nice hearing what their voices actually sound like. But yeah, man, they stretch these cases out super long. I just wanted to get closure and end it. So yeah, thanks for watching.